right, everybody. So we're live on Facebook. This is the Arty 84 show. We're live here, episode 217. Adam might be having some technical difficulty. There he is. Adam's back. Adam, I'm going to text you a picture right now. This is what it froze on when your computer froze. It looks like you're blowing someone, to be honest with you. It wasn't a very unflattable.
I was trying to tell you something before we went live.
Yeah, I heard this. I heard part of it, but I said don't worry about it. It's no big deal. Supposedly we have a guest tonight. He hasn't responded, but maybe he'll join us.
I'll tell you.
Nick Rosales, a comedian, will be joining us shortly. Hopefully, he said he's seen my message, but I didn't know that. Yeah, do you see the picture, right? It looks like
I'm getting blown.
Looks like you're giving fellatio. Or someone's fellatioing you. Yeah, I was like, wow.
It does.
But yes, it's the end of April. We have the draft tonight. Excuse me, the NFL draft tonight. And man, they really try to stretch this shit out, huh? Do you see what they're doing with the schedule release this year? They're releasing parts of the schedule instead of doing it all in one night. It's parts of.
No, I haven't.
So they're gonna stretch the schedule release over 3 nights, just like they're doing the fucking draft. So tonight, because the draft used to be on Friday nights, now it's on Thursday for the first round, and then we're gonna have 2 rounds tomorrow, and then the rest of it's gonna be on Saturday. It's like, really, NFL, what the fuck you doing? I remember
they must be starting to think that they can actually get viewers.
Well, do you remember the baseball used to do that with the fucking schedule? They used to hold up until like friggin' February or January to release it. Now they just release it like in September while the season's still going on for the next year. It's like, come on. We already know who the teams the NFL are playing pretty much by week 15. Just release the schedule. It's as easy as that. Almost every team owns the stadium they play in, so they have priority over any scheduling. So it's not like it's a schedule conflict with like other teams worrying about if they're going to be on the same time. But it's just fucking irritable. It's like the NFL is just really irritating me. Like, if this bullshit, just release the fucking schedule. Don't stretch the draft out for fucking 3 days. Who cares? You know? I don't know.
No, it's true.
It's just annoying. It's just like no one gives a shit. Like you want to do a big presentation and all this stuff, whatever, like this. Like, I'm like, sorry, it's been 10 minutes right now, and the Jaguars are just finally announcing their pick. Like, okay, now you do that times 30. You know what I mean? That's 300 minutes that you're gonna be watching the first round tonight. No, 3,200 minutes. Like, come on.
Yeah.
Stupid.
No, it's true.
It just, I don't think I think the NFL is gonna get themselves into a situation in which the people are going to be so irritated and there's going to be competition. I don't know. Have you been watching any of the
I don't even know when it's on, to be quite honest. I've been hearing little rumblings about it.
Yeah.
I'm like, where is this on? Where?
It's on Saturdays and Sundays. It's usually on Fox and Fox Sports. And from what I understand, people are liking it. They have a 3-point conversion you can get, I guess.
If I was on my dual monitors right now, I would check to see what their ratings are.
But it's like
I'm gonna bet the first week was really good, and then it all went to hell. It's going downhill.
I don't know that. I don't know any of that information, but I do know that the Jaguars facility to show looks like a basement of an old school. Doesn't look very nice. But yeah, like, who goes to the draft? Like, how boring would that be?
I don't know. Some people are really into it.
Like, I'm watching these people, and they must have got there super early to get, like, the front row. Like,
yeah.
Like, I could think
I would think that those people in the front row are, like, family members or friends of friends.
You would think so, but there's, like, some weird guy who looks like he plays video games on Friday nights at some dive bar in Cambridge in the front row.
Oh, he's probably, like, a rep or, like, a lot of fat guys look like that, or
maybe
want to be, like,
I'm with the media.
Agent.
Yeah,
I'm like a wannabe agent.
I'm with the media. Maybe when he gets signed, he'll ask me to be his agent. Maybe that's the deal. He was like crying, his like tears were in his eyes when some lady was up there talking about Ukraine. I'm like, bro, really? God. Like, listen, we all know there's a war going over there, but why you got to bring it into every single freaking thing we do now these days? There's a war. How do we even know that Ukraine's even the good guys for this matter? They could be just as bad as Russia.
No, they're not. They're the better.
The better of the evils, right?
Yeah.
It's like. It's not like Russia's coming over and taking a completely innocent country over. Like, it's not like it's like Luxembourg that hasn't done anything, right? It's like, I mean, Ukraine has their shady side too, for the fact that the United States had made them get rid of their nuclear bombs because they were that shady.
Yeah. I will say that how cool would it be to have a friend who was like going into the draft and being like a party of his as the draft is going on.
Right.
You know, some of them sit it out and go and are like at home with family.
Yeah, and that's cool.
Right?
I see that.
That'd be fucking awesome.
No, that's a cool thing. Like I see that, but like, and like, the what's funny? Like they brought up 20 guys on stage before the draft even started, like potential draftees. And I'm like, it would be funny if one of these guys doesn't get drafted in the first round tonight. He looks like an asshole on stage. Like
that happens. That happened with. I know Aaron Rodgers is still in first round. He was expected to go much sooner.
Right.
What's his name? The guy who ended up on the Chiefs and like I remember a couple of years ago he broke his leg, his career was ended, and he came back for one more year with Washington.
Yeah, he was over in San Francisco. He started his career in San Francisco, then he ended up on the Chiefs. Yeah. God, what the hell was his name? I know exactly.
He was more of a game manager.
Right.
He wasn't horrible, but he was.
Yeah, he's like a Fitzpatrick.
He was drafted ahead of Aaron Rodgers. He was drafted first.
Right. What the hell is? I gotta Google it. Now it's gonna drive me crazy. He was. Let's see. God.
Alex Smith.
Alex Smith. There you go. Yeah. But
all right.
I don't.
I'm gonna try something. I'm trying to get back to
we're gonna get wild.
This is
Okay, now Jaguars. You have 6 minutes left. Like, who are you fucking picking?
I had a draft clock and everything already. I had it all set up. I'm moving back to my spot.
Yeah.
I'm seeing
We're gonna try this to see if it works. If you guys are watching tonight, by the way, and you're watching the draft too, we're just gonna be bitching about the silliness of the NFL. And the Jaguars getting the first round pick every year, which is hilarious when you think about it. Like, and they can't do anything with it. And then the Patriots aren't picking until 21, and we'll probably be way in bed by the time we figure out. And I hope Belichick picks that punter and kicker guy that can kick like 95-yard field goal. You see that guy?
No, but they're not going to keep that pick. There's no way. It's so high up in the first round, you might as well trade it anyway.
They're either going to trade it or they're going to draft that field goal kicker. I think he's from San Diego or something like that. And apparently he can kick a 95-yard field goal or something like that. The guy has a leg on him. And you know how Belichick likes his special team boys. You know what I mean?
Today's been a fucking annoying day, man. Like I was annoyed at work, and now I sliced my finger open. I was gushing blood for like 20 minutes before we came on air because I sliced my finger open with a pizza cutter.
Were you making pizza?
It took 2 Band-Aids. Yeah, well, I was making I gave up and made pasta instead because I fucking hurt my finger. But it took 2 Band-Aids to stop the bleeding.
Oh,
and
better than your wiener, than your finger.
Good. Yeah, better than my wiener.
How'd you get your finger in the way of a pizza cutter? How's that work? Were you holding the pizza?
Well, I was washing it. Washing it, and I like the wheel turn is sharp.
Wow, you get a sharp pizza cutter.
Yeah, man.
My pizza cutter couldn't cut through warm butter. It's the worst pizza cutter in the world. Like literally, you gotta keep going.
Okay, I'm back at my spot.
That's great. Jacksonville still hasn't made their pick yet. Well, now we're approaching.
Cool. I'm gonna pull it up.
15 minutes. So they get 20 minutes to take a pick. 20 minutes? You need 20 minutes to pick someone? This is ridiculous.
They actually almost missed out on drafting what's-his-face last year because they told him that they would call him first. And they couldn't get through to him.
He was probably hoping he didn't call him. He was like sitting there like, please don't call me. Please don't call me. Please don't. It's like when your work says, I'll call you and let you know if you have to come in. You're sitting there like, please don't call me. Please don't call me. Like, hey, Trevor Lawrence, this is the Jacksonville Jaguars. We're going to draft you. I'd be like, no, please don't. This is where people go to die. We're good
it's
once.
Like one of those things.
Once every 10 years.
You can't. Yeah, unless you're a Manning, you can't say no.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like it's guaranteed money if you're in the first round. It's like fuck, I don't want to go.
Yeah, it's like I don't know if have you been watching that Showtime that
no, it sucks.
It's Game Time or Showtime or whatever the Magic Johnson thing that's on HBO. Have you watched any of that? It's like the mini series about Magic Johnson making.
No, but I know how. A lot of people are bitching about it because it's supposedly like very inaccurate. Like it's supposed to be inaccurate.
Yeah,
it's an extreme dramatization.
So we watched two episodes so far. Like apparently, like Johnson tried to do the same thing. Like he wanted some crazy Kareem money before he got drafted for the Lakers, and they're like, no fucking way. And he's like, well, I'll just go back to college for another year.
Yeah,
but I don't know. This drafting, there's a lot of Patriots fans out in Vegas. They keep showing the Patriots people. But
I'm sure. I'm looking forward to hopefully meeting a lot of them if we go.
Oh, we're going. It's gonna be a blackout weekend. I just hope it's like I really hope because I hope it's like a 4:00 West Coast game, so it'd be a 1:00 Vegas time, And I hope it's not like a Sunday night game or a stupid Thursday night game, something stupid like that. Like, I hope it's just like a regular game.
Well, in August, right?
No, we'll know next week.
Oh, next week. Sure.
Yeah, probably this time next week while we're doing the show, the schedule will be released. Actually, no, we won't be because it's Cinco de Mayo. We will be off next week. Week after that, we'll let you know.
Well, actually, no, it'll leak out. You know how it always leaks.
So I've been trying to find some leaks online. If you just Google leaks and you go to Reddit, sometimes you can find some stuff. And usually it leaks. Oh, and that's another reason why they're not going to be able to hold it back for 3 fucking days. The schedule's already out. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like they already made them. Yeah, like they already fucked up about Tampa Bay playing in Germany this year for a game. And it was the chancellor of the German, like, whatever they do for tourism, accidentally tweeted, "We'll be happy to see the Tampa Bay Buccaneers play this year on November 20th. So, and the NFL must have been like, "You gotta be fucking kidding me, really? Thank you, Germany."
Yeah.
Because there's only 4 teams that have licensing deals with Germany, I guess. The Patriots, Panthers, Chiefs, and Buccaneers. So the Buccaneers are going to play one of those teams. So it's probably going to be Carolina since it's a divisional game. So, I mean, they pretty much let that cat out of the bag. All right, so what do we get here? Travon Walker.
Yeah, that's about
okay.
Right,
what position does he play?
He is a defensive end.
A DN. They have a lot of graphics on the screen right now, and none of them tell us his position. So, like, thank you, NFL Network.
Really?
You did a really good job. You have a guy's name. You have how many tackles. You have all his stats. You have what school he went to, but you don't have his position listed on there. Friggin' morons.
Which means Hawkinson is probably going to be number 2.
And he's going to what? Detroit, right? That's the second right there?
Yeah.
Like, it just says edge. Okay, so that's a DN. Defensive end. Is that a new term for defensive end? I've been seeing this lately.
Yeah, I don't know.
Edge?
Don't know.
Like, what the fuck's edge? Like, are they confused? It's like an outside linebacker or a defensive end? I'm playing edge. Like, that's not a position. Let's not be fancy, okay?
Yeah. I think because he's kind of interchangeable, he can move to several defensive positions wherever they want to put him. So they don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't.
It's kind of stupid.
Because I'm seeing highlights of him. It looks like he's playing linebacker, but then there's also situations where he's playing defensive end. So it's just. And then the whole other thing about letting the fucking players pick their numbers too really confuses the fuck out of everyone because numbers are designated by position. And it's been like that since football started. That way you can know that someone who's ineligible downfield is not supposed to be downfield. It's as easy as that. That's why there's numbers designated per position. That's the main reason. And that's why when they say number 68 is checking in as a wide receiver. And then they're letting these assholes pick their numbers. So you have a number 3 playing defensive end like they're in college again. It makes no fucking sense at all.
What happens someday when too many numbers are retired for a team?
Well, we'll find out in about 10 years with the New York Yankees because they pretty much retire anyone. And hey, the Red Sox aren't too far behind. They're going to run out of space to retire numbers. You're gonna have to reissue numbers. Oh, the Celtics. How many freaking numbers the Celtics have? They have 3 banners worth of retired numbers.
It's true.
I mean, some guys are gonna be playing number 78 and be like, number 7. Why? Well, because I couldn't get the numbers I want. Do you know the New York Yankees? There's no single-digit numbers available for the New York Yankees. Derek Jeter was the last one, number 2, right? And his number is gonna be retired if it isn't already.
Wow.
So there is 0 single-digit numbers you could be as a New York Yankee. And that goes back because when baseball started, your number coincided with position you played. Since when they say, like, you flied out to the 9, being, like, right field, like, your number was designated to your position. So, like, in the early times of baseball, if you were a second baseman, you were a number 4 because that's what position you played. Number 4, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, 4.
Yeah, okay. Yeah,
so that's why a lot of lower numbers are retired because of all the classic guys that played in the back in the days. And then at some point they changed it because I guess they needed more players, and I don't know how that works, but maybe there were multiple numbers, so like maybe a team had multiple number 2s, maybe, and it was just easy to keep track, and then people started designating the numbers with their names to something like that. But
they should start using hashtags.
Yeah, hashtag my ass. Hey, guess who let me back on Twitter today? Elon, thank you. My email address is no longer blocked.
Oh, wow.
I was shut off from Twitter for a little while, and I was reading some feed today that said you should check and see if your email will let you log into Twitter again if it was banned, because someone thinks that, do you know, like when you're leaving a job, you like burn all the files on your way out? They think someone in the someone in Twitter is literally getting rid of all evidence of people who are blocked and email addresses that are blocked and accounts that are blocked, and that's why like people's like, I don't know if you read it, but people who their followers are jumping up crazy numbers, like they're because accounts that
because of all the people unblocked,
right? So all of a sudden the numbers are coming back. So there's someone they think working in Twitter basically right now who's like deleting all that shit and getting it all nice and clean. So when Elon has no evidence that like, so he can't be like, hey, see, this is what Twitter did for 5 years. They blocked, 1 million people. So I tried my email address, and it didn't say restricted anymore. But my account that was previously associated with the email address was gone. But it let me create an account with my old Twitter handle today, which I thought was very weird.
Nice.
So I was like, all right, cool. I'm like, I can get with this. All right, who are they? Adrian Hutchinson. Is that what you said, Hutchinson?
Yes. Yep.
Yes. He's also an edge guy, because that's a new position, edge. I'm playing edge.
I like him. He's got like the energy of JJ Watt. Like he has that kind of energy. I was watching his highlight reel at lunch, and like he brings it. Like
he looks like him a little bit. Yeah, he's a big guy. 97, fast. He's pretty lean. He's not really a fat guy. He could be a tight end if he played offense. It looks like. Yeah,
he looks like that. Yeah, I'm not just saying that because he's white.
No, he's actually kind of built like Aaron Hernandez a little bit, or who's the guy? The Pats used to have is that really good defensive end, and they ended up trading him away.
They have a lot of white guys.
No, it was a black guy back in the day.
Oh, Seymour?
Seymour, yeah. He's kind of looks like a little Seymour figure. He's fast, this guy. I'm looking at the highlight reel right there. He's getting pretty good.
There's that one dude, like, he has a lot of cool plays I've seen him make, but, like, he just looks like he's going to get injured. Another defensive guy. You mentioned him at lunch. That was Whiskey. He has a weird middle name they call him.
Oh, yeah. Like Whiskey Dick or something.
Something like that. No, I forget what his name was. It's something like that. But, like, he's, like, I was watching his highlight. He fucking moves, but like he looks like really thin. He looks like a AJ Green like type of thin wide receiver, but he's a defense guy.
It's weird though. Like, so we get 2 defensive ends drafted 1-2 so far, huh? It's like and Houston's up next.
Offensive. There's going to be a couple offensive tackles in there too.
There's no quarterbacks really this year going, huh? Nothing really. That's
2.
Yeah, but nothing that really like blows up in your face, right?
Nothing. There's like 1 wide receiver and like 2 quarterbacks in the top 20.
Yeah, it's a weird year, I guess. So, but I guess you could pick. I mean, I don't know. If you're a player, I guess you can kind of manipulate if you're gonna go into the draft or not. I guess
Yeah. Ooh, this lighting in my
room. What's with the outfits too? Like these freaking idiots in their outfits. They get drafted with outfits. Like, and why is the NFL draft a big thing? Why is all the other sports no one really gives a shit about the draft? Like baseball.
I feel like NBA is something, right?
Yeah, okay, yeah, all right. Maybe you're right. Because in the NBA is only like 2 rounds, so 3 rounds, right? So it's like real quick.
Yeah, other than that, though.
And but they wrap that up in a night. They don't stretch it out like the NFL. I think so. Yeah, I think the NFL draft gets done in a night. I mean, the NBA draft. I mean, hockey, you don't even know the draft's going on. It happens in like the middle of June during like the Stanley Cup playoffs, and then baseball's in the middle of July. And it's just like, oh, we had a draft today, and no one's there. No one's at a baseball stadium looking at a draft pick. Maybe because it takes so long for a baseball player or a hockey player to develop to get into the league. Maybe I don't know.
Maybe did you hear about Vince Wilfork's kid?
No, any good?
He like stole a bunch of his jewelry and like a bunch of other like Super Bowl like memorabilia and jewelry from him and like tried to pawn it.
Get out of here! Really?
He's a little shithead.
What a fucking piece of shit.
Yeah, it's really bad. Look it up when you have a chance.
How old is he? Shithead. Is he older?
I don't know. I just saw a little blurb of it on.
Old enough to go to a pawn shop, I guess. Interesting. Well, someone's calling me right now. Interrupted my feed. So I guess he's not going to join us tonight since he didn't respond to my message. He read the message but didn't respond. So at least you could have said, "Hey, listen, I can't make it tonight." Would have been nice. Asshole. You know, like that's all I asked.
Rude,
hey, sorry, can't make it tonight. You know, that's all right because then we could have found someone else. That's fine. Because we are alive. But you know what? Yeah. Whatever. So, all right. So Houston's picking next. Worst team in franchise history. The 2021 Houston Texans. So, which
I will say one thing I do love about any sports draft is you see these young kids, right? And at that moment when they're drafted, they have the world by the balls.
Right.
And I don't think they realize how much they have the world by the balls yet. They have sports. They have all this. They have money. They're going to have women, right?
Right.
And then the ones that will fuck it up, right? And like that Raider, that wide receiver, you can imagine that is a public moment where you are witnessing somebody at the height of their life right? And then just burn.
How about Johnny Manziel? Remember him?
Yeah.
That guy was like a fucking... And who Browns drafted him, and he was just like a fucking plane crashing into a mountain. Like, it's like... Which, he had no fucking excuse, because he was from a rich family anyways. So it's not like the money overwhelmed him. He was from a friggin' oil franchise family. You know what I mean? Like...
He was just an idiot.
He was just a fucking spoiled little brat. You know what I mean? And good. I hope... I don't have any pity for people like that whose careers crash and burn like that. You know what I mean?
He even got kicked out of the Canadian League.
He was a piece of shit. I mean...
Yeah.
I mean, this might be the year for, speaking of piece of shit quarterbacks, maybe, what's his face? Kaepernick comes back. He still thinks he's got it.
Like, how old is he now? He's got to be like in his late 30s.
Yeah, he's got to be early, 33 maybe. I mean, come on, bro. At this point, it's almost time to go.
Wasn't even that good to begin with.
No.
It wasn't. He had one good year.
And he would have been a serviceable backup quarterback for any team if he just kept his mouth shut and stopped being an asshole.
Colin Kaepernick.
Like, he could easily have a job right now as a backup quarterback in almost any team in the NFL, just as a serviceable backup. I mean, if your boy, who's the guy in the Patriots who always comes back for more, backup quarterback?
My boy. Hoya?
Hoya the Destroyer. If that guy still has a job after 15 years, I mean, there's no reason Kaepernick couldn't have a job.
34.
34, yeah. It's a little too old to be a quarterback, unless your name's Tom Brady or Peyton Manning. I'm sorry. You're pretty much done.
You know how when you Google someone's name, it also has a thing like people also search for?
Right. What else? What's his name?
I
Dick
don't know
size?
why, but Eminem came up.
Colin Kaepernick, Eminem, huh? Interesting.
Eminem. It's weird. It says Russell Wilson, Tom Brady, Jimmy Garoppolo, Cam Newton, Aaron Rodgers, Eminem.
Really? That's interesting. Maybe Eminem got drafted today. Cornerback. Houston got a cornerback. So 3 defensive players so far. Interesting. No offense.
Yep. Who was it?
Derek Stingley Jr.
Okay. Yeah.
Any good? Have you seen any highlight reels on him?
I have not seen that highlight. I saw the name. I didn't watch his highlight.
The Jets are on the clock right now. They're about to draft the guy who's probably going to be cut in a few weeks. So, as the Jets usually roll.
Oh, they're going to ruin him.
They'll destroy him, yeah. And I think, in a sense, Detroit does the same exact way because I guess we always thought that what's his face was a decent quarterback. He won the Super Bowl last year. He was in LA, but he was on Detroit. What was his name? Matt Stafford.
Yeah, Stafford. Yeah.
Everyone always thought he was a decent quarterback, but they didn't realize how good of a quarterback he was until he went to LA.
Yeah, he makes some dumbass mistakes, but he is a good quarterback.
He does, but like, they were able to put a team together in LA around them for essentially, right, which is pretty good. Yeah. And they won a Super Bowl, and he wasn't even It wasn't even like a thought on the radar up in Detroit. They didn't even make the playoffs like once, like when he was up there, you know. And they had arguably one of the best wide receivers in the history of this era of football.
Yeah.
With what's his face, Johnson.
Yeah, Calvin Johnson. Yeah, and even before that, Barry Sanders.
And Barry Sanders.
They have a history. Like Calvin Johnson retired, and like because they wouldn't let him go. They wouldn't let him go, and like he's like, fine, I'm just gonna retire. Like, that sucks.
From my
same thing. Barry Sanders retired early too.
Right, and from what I understand, the Ford family still owns the team, but it's like not even like Henry Ford's direct relatives. It's like a second cousin once removed, like some chick that has no idea what they're doing. Something terrible. Has no idea how to... Like, just because you're a millionaire doesn't mean you should own a team. And if you do own a team, doesn't mean you know anything about the team.
It's true.
That's why you hire people who know shit about your team. So if you want to make the investment and buy something like $1 billion company like a football team, all means, go right ahead. But be prepared to open your wallet and also be prepared to hire someone who's knowledgeable about what you just bought. That's like if me and you went into like NASA. No, it's like if me and you went and said, hey, we're going to develop a spaceship company. And we put all our life savings into building a spaceship company. But we had the money to do it, right? But we have no idea how a spaceship works. And then when people were like, well, maybe you should hire someone who knows anything about spaceships. And we just tell them to go fuck off, right?
Yeah, we know everything.
We know everything about spaceships. That's the problem.
People who have a lot of money become delusional.
Right.
They think they know everything.
Jerry Jones knows absolutely nothing about football. And I'm going to tell you that right now. He knows zero. He got very lucky with Aikman and Emmitt Smith on those teams for those years, the 90s. He got very, very, very lucky with those players.
Did you hear about how he paid off a woman like millions and millions of dollars who claimed to be his legitimate who claimed to be like his kid.
Really?
Right? He paid her off millions of dollars, right? But still says that note it's not my kid.
Is it his kid though? Do we know?
No, not for sure. But come on,
right?
Like, yeah.
You don't know anything about football, Jerry Jones. You should not be a general manager. That's like if I walked into Pep Boys, for example, and said, I'm going to become a general manager of Pep Boys. Well, do you have any history working in the automotive company? No, I don't. Well, you can't be a general manager of Pep Boys because you have no idea how cars work and how the engine works and how stuff that we do here works. Just because you have enough money to buy something doesn't mean you know how to run it. You know what I mean?
Fake it till you make it only works. Like, it can take you so far. You know?
Like I said, Jerry Jones got lucky with Michael Irvin, Troy Aikman, and Evan Smith. You had three of some of the best position players of all time in this era playing for your team. You went to the Super Bowl. Well, they win 3 Super Bowls, right? So, come on. It's like...
I remember, too, all 3 of them had to be playing for them to win. If one of them was out, they'd lose.
Right.
It was so bizarre.
Oh, God, they had Deion Sanders, too. How do you forget about Deion Sanders on defense? I mean, that's...
Yeah, that was like towards the end.
Right, yeah. Yeah, because Deion was on Atlanta for a little while, right? Because I remember he played... he had a football game, then he had to fly up to Pittsburgh for a baseball game, but he never ended up playing. He was riding the bench. It was like a Pittsburgh Pirate playoff game or something like that.
I'm pretty sure he's the only athlete to have a Super Bowl and a World Series ring.
You may be right. Yeah, because who was the other switch player? It was
Brian Jordan.
No, maybe
Brian
him.
Jordan.
But who's the guy who played? God, he ended his career so young. He played. He was a shortstop. God, why can't I think of his name? God. Black guy. He played on. Was it the Cardinals? Maybe.
You're thinking of Brian Jordan, I think.
Is that what I'm thinking about? Maybe,
he played with the Braves and the Cardinals.
Okay, maybe that's what I'm thinking of.
Yeah, St. Louis.
Yeah, okay.
St. Louis. I don't know if he has a World Series. He played with the 49ers. Yep.
Like a switch-off player. It's a tough thing to do.
Yeah.
I mean, it's doable, but like these nowadays teams don't want you doing that. Like
not anymore. No.
I'm surprised the Seahawks even let Russell Wilson go and spring train with the friggin' Yankees.
That's true.
Like that's like.
Yeah, me too.
When you're putting that much money invested into a person, like that's a little liability. You know what I mean?
It is true, yeah.
But Deion was pretty good. I mean, he was a decent outfielder. He could hit. He might be the only person in history to have like touchdown and a home run in like the same weekend or something like that.
I was kind of disappointed about. I was looking at Bo Jackson's stats a couple days.
That's what I'm thinking of. Bo Jackson. He was a switch player too. He played them both.
Yeah, he really wasn't that great though. Like I was looking at his numbers. Look at his offensive numbers. Really?
So was he just? Maybe it was just. That was the first time it was done.
He was flashy.
That was his thing. Yeah, maybe that's right.
Like, but he wasn't. I think he's a chef now too, actually.
All right, Jets just picked another cornerback, Ahmad Gardner.
Wait, did you say quarterback?
No, corner. So it's 4 defensive players so far. So we got 2 tight ends. Yeah. I mean 2 defensive ends and 2 cornerbacks gone. And the guy looks like he's running out of the draft room. Hold on. This is interesting. Oh, okay. He's running to the stage. It looked like he was running out of the. All right, so maybe I think he was in the bathroom.
Maybe, was it Jermaine Johnson?
No, Ahmad Gardner.
Ahmad Gardner.
So he looks like he was running.
Ahmad Gardner. Wow. Okay.
So he's played for Cincinnati. He literally was running across the place because I think he thought he wasn't going to get picked, or he was in the bathroom. And they literally have a camera showing him run from the other side of the arena, or where the hell he are, for the last, 5 minutes.
Yeah.
He's like, bro, you just got drafted. He's like, I'm in the middle of taking a shit. Now he's giving...
there's only 2 quarterbacks. It's either going to be Malik Willis or a guy named Pickett. Those are the only 2 major named quarterbacks that are up there. And they might go in the top 10. They might be. There's one guy, his name is, Akeem Akawano, who's, He's like I've seen him in every draft board ranging from 3 to 19.
Okay.
That tells me he's a head case.
Yeah.
When you're when you could be potentially number 3 or number 19, there's something wrong with you.
Well, what was Mac Jones's? But he was projected to go early, but he ended up going late. What was his reason for going late?
I think it was because of their offense.
Okay.
It was I think that's what it was. The word about his offense.
That's crazy. Yeah, this guy didn't look like he doesn't look very excited to be drafted by the New York Jets. And rightfully so. No one should be excited to be drafted by the Jets.
No.
The last person to be excited they were drafted by the Jets was was Broadway Joe. Joe Nathan was the last guy who was excited to be part of the Jets.
Actually, the only player I've ever heard say that they loved being a Jet was Revis. Remember Darrelle Revis?
Yeah. He went back.
Yeah. I don't fucking know why.
It's like an abusive relationship. He just couldn't get enough. He's like, I gotta go back to the Jets. Probably because they let him do whatever the fuck he wanted to do. To be honest with you,
could be it.
I mean, they're not known to be very, and that's why a lot of people don't like to play for the Patriots because they kind of like, we got rules, we got to do what we got to do. We can't just jerk around. You know what I mean?
It really blows my mind that the New York market just outside of the Yankees just fails constantly.
And even the Yankees are hit or miss these days. I mean, it's not the Yankees aren't what they were in the '90s. To be honest with you, I mean, they've won one World Series in the last 21 years ish. So it's like, and been combined with the Mets and the Yankees, they have only been to like 3 World Series in the last 21 years, with 1 win total for the 2 of them. And supposedly the Mets are in first place right now, but I take that with a grain of salt because it's great. You're in first place in April. What the fuck does that mean?
Yeah.
You see that game last night with the brawl with the Mets and the Cardinals?
I gotta look it up. I heard about it.
So there's apparently some bad blood going on, and the Mets have the most they've been the most pitches that have hit players this year. It's kind of like a thing they're doing now. They're pitching inside and they're hitting players and it's pissing teams off.
Yeah.
And the guy in the Mets pitched a little high, just missed the guy's head on the Cardinals, and there was a big bench clearing brawl last night. And I think it's funny, and you probably heard me say this point before. It was when the bullpen empties, they all run to.
That's my favorite. Yeah.
Like, they should just fight in the outfield. Like, if you really want to fight that bad, you should just, like, beeline around and just take out a guy in the opposing bullpen. Like, that's, like... Otherwise, you really don't want to fight. You just want to be part of the party.
No, they all want to be in the center of it. They all want to be at the mound. They want where the action is.
But, like, if there was a fight in the outfield, it'd be like, oh, my God, there's a fight in the outfield. And they just go out there, and there's all these relief pitches because they don't want to fight. It's like, no one really wants to fight. Because you see the guys just pull people back to, like...
Nobody does.
You know, maybe...
I would like to think, especially athletes, unless you're John Rocker, they don't want to fight because like millions of dollars are at risk here. You break something, you can fuck your life up, your contract.
Yeah, you don't want to get injured. You don't want to hurt yourself in a bench. I mean, I like the entertainment aspect of it, but if you're gonna let them fight, you might as well let a guy fucking run over a catcher at home plate like you used to do back in the day. Yeah, like you know what I mean. And it's just like hockey too. With the fighting too, it's like, oh, we're gonna let you fight until one of you hit the ice, right? And it's like, if these two guys were doing this outside the arena. On the street, they would both be arrested. You know what I mean? So it's like,
assault.
What's the difference between the two? I remember like a couple years ago when Chara was on the Bruins, he got in a fight with some guy on the Montreal Canadiens, and people were calling 911 in the arena in Montreal saying there's an assault going on at the arena, and they wanted Chara to be arrested for hitting a guy.
Damn. I remember watching it was in the minor leagues. It was a bench clearing brawl, and the guy, the batter, because he charged at the mound, he took his helmet off, put it here to use it as like a boxing glove, helmet around his head just to fucking try to clock the pitcher with it. I'm like, that's kind of smart.
Yeah. It's also a fucking boss move right there. It's like having like brass knuckles, but you have your helmet.
Well, that's a jump to battery right there.
Right. That's probably, you're not going to get drafted.
Yeah, that's beyond a...
Well, not drafted, not brought up. Like, it's probably like, yeah, this guy's going to be a lifelong minor leaguer. Because, I just think it's funny with, like, when you look at the fighting in sports, it's like, obviously there's a lot of energy. Even, like, guys who aren't professionals, when they get involved in, playing and stuff, they get all riled up and stuff. You know what I mean?
Testosterone.
Yeah. Just the bullpen pitchers running out just makes me laugh every single time. Because you could easily just jump the bullpen wall and take a guy out next to you. You never see the bullpen catchers go out, though. They always just stay in there because they never leave.
That's true. Because
they know they have the best job in baseball. They make league minimum and never actually have to do anything except for catch a ball. Like, you'll make $550,000 a year. You get to travel with the team. You get all the perks the team has. All you do is catch balls for relief pitch. You don't, which always seems weird to me. Like, why would you carry a guy in your salary? Why wouldn't you just have your backup catcher in the bullpen those days? You know what I mean?
Wear and tear on the knees, maybe.
Maybe, but most teams carry 2 catches anyways, right? Or like have a guy who's like a switch, like maybe a guy could play first base and catch, go out there in the bullpen. Like, why would you pay $500,000 for a guy you can't actually ever use? You can never use him. He's not on the roster. He's an unrosterable person. It just always seems very bizarre to me.
It does.
Because you remember the days when Mirabelli was on the team? He used to go out there and catch in the bullpen, like during playoff games and stuff.
Yeah, the only reason we had him was because of Wakefield.
That was the only reason, yeah. Yeah, remember that day that you had a police escort him back from Logan to the fucking game from Wakefield style?
Yeah, it's like people are dying.
Yeah.
Let's have resources shift to getting this guy to Fenway.
That was the biggest bullshit.
Kind of sad.
Biggest bullshit shit I ever seen in my life. Like, we gotta get Mirabelli. And the Sox weren't even doing good that season. It was the season that Wakefield was trying to go for his 200th win. Remember, there was that might have been the last season for not the last season for friggin' Francona. Maybe he was really pushing. They were putting Wakefield. Obviously didn't have it anymore. It was like 2012, I think, and or 2011. He still didn't. He didn't have it. He was done. No, it had to be 2011 because 2012 was Bobby Valentine. 2013 was what's his face came in, the pitching coach that became the head coach. So maybe it was 2000.
Kennedy? Was it Kennedy?
No, who's the guy that? Oh God, he got us the World Series in 2013. He was the pitching coach for Francona.
Oh, John Farrell.
John Farrell, yeah. So.
Hated that guy so much.
So it had to be like 2011, and they kept Wakefield in. They were putting him. He was getting shanked every single game he played, but he was like at 199. And the Sox were like borderline, possibly making the playoffs or not. And it was kind of like a weird August. And they kept putting Wakefield in, and he kept getting shelled. And then they finally got him to win. I think they got Mirabelli. That they brought him back to catch for him for that one freaking game or something like that. But
yeah.
All right, so 5th pick, New York Giants, another defensive end.
Yep.
Wow. Okay. So no offensive players so far.
Who? Which one is it?
His name is Kayvon Thibodeau.
Okay.
From Oregon.
Okay, sounds familiar. Yeah.
So yeah, okay.
Kayvon.
Kayvon. I'm sorry, Kayvon. He gets the pick. He looks pretty good. He's fast. He's kind of built like the first guy that went too. But okay, Giants. I think you really needed a quarterback or some kind of offensive player, but who do I know? New York Giants. Or New York Jets.
They need offensive line. They need an offensive line. They haven't had an offensive line in like 5 years.
Maybe Eli can come back. What's Eli doing these days?
God.
Is he looking for work?
He's doing that podcast with his brother, making millions.
I'm thinking, so Archie's grandson, right? Archie the third or Archie the second, whatever the hell his name is.
Yeah.
Cooper's son. I think he's going to the Saints next year.
Next year? He's not even in college yet, right?
Is he in college? I thought he was a freshman in college. Maybe not. No.
Is he a freshman in college? I thought he was like a senior. He's close to that. I know he's close to that.
So like, if he's really good, like, wouldn't they just pick him up and bring him in? Like, if the Saints
want to, I think he wants to have a full college experience.
Yeah.
And I think the way the Mannings are, that's probably what's going to happen. You don't want to leave too early.
Well, they'll manipulate where he goes too.
Oh yeah.
So like, he's not.
They did it with the other two.
He's not going to Jacksonville. All right, so get that out. He's not going to Cincinnati. He probably will. I'm going to bet he's going to try to work his way in to go to the Saints, only for the fact that it's his grandfather's team. They need a quarterback. They're kind of just putting replacement players in for quarterbacks. Like, they have Watson this year. Like, Jameson. What the fuck's his name? Who's the guy there?
Yeah, Winston.
Winston. That's Winston. Yeah. So it's like, I don't know. I mean, it would just be good for the franchise, I guess, because like, oh, we have another man and someone's winning. He'd probably wear his grandfather's number because they really don't retire numbers in football, and then be like Archie 2.0. He
wasn't even. He was a good football player, but not like an amazing.
No, they never won. They never had a winning. I think they had one winning season.
Yeah.
He was just.
The Archie wasn't.
No, he was subpar at best. We're talking about what, 70s football. It was probably like late 70s, early 80s. But they get the name. You know what I mean? That'd be funny if the Saints move to a different city. They just get up and leave. Sorry, Saints. No more team in New Orleans.
Oh, God, it's like 80 degrees in here.
That's good. It's toasty in this room because I got the light on, I got the computers going and stuff. But this might be the last show in the office because this might be getting moved downstairs. I'm thinking. Well, this weekend I'm in Pennsylvania, so maybe this might be the second to last show. This might be getting moved down next weekend. So,
we don't have a show next weekend. So.
Oh, that's right. So this might be the last show in the studio, but you wouldn't know because the green screen would be behind me. I could be on Mars. I could be mining stuff on my. So, are you familiar with the Tesla tunnel in Vegas?
Oh, because the it's not built yet though. I know he has another company, the Boring Company.
So it's a boring. No, it's built. They finished the tunnel.
Oh, they did.
So it gets you from one side of the convention center in Vegas to the other side of the convention center. And it goes on the ground, and a bypass. It says it saves 20 and 30 minutes of getting, because the convention center is a mile long. It's like just mile long building. It's ridiculous how big it is. So, and they have 3 stops. They have one on each end and then one in the middle. And people drive this Teslas, 2 models of Teslas that get driven in this tunnel. It's not automated yet because they still haven't figured it out, but someone still drives the Tesla, and it's pretty much like a shuttle service. It takes you from one end to the convention center to the other. So I didn't know much about it, and it opened maybe half a year ago, and a buddy I know who lives in Vegas actually took it for a convention, and he videotaped himself in the Tesla going from one side to the other, and he goes, anyone who thinks this is a stupid idea, this is the best idea ever, because I didn't have to go outside, I didn't have to walk the distance of the convention center. I just literally took a little complimentary shuttle from one side to the other, under the convention center to the other side. And then I was looking into it, and I was like, well, what's an interesting idea of the Boring Company they bought? And he came up with the idea because he wanted to bore a tunnel to go from downtown LA to LAX and get there in 8 minutes. And that's his ideal goal for the Boring Tunnel, which is pretty impressive.
It is. I see there are some complications with that. Like, you're making things underground. Something breaks down. Like, say your car breaks down in a fucking tunnel. That'd be annoying.
So I think his idea would be you and I, as an independent citizen, would not be allowed to drive in the tunnel. We would need a driver in the tunnel. And I guess it would all be automated. So you just get into a Tesla with no driver, and it's all computerized that there's not going to be a traffic jam because it's all spaced out perfectly that there's no issue. Now, obviously, it could be a battery malfunction. There could be a car stuff. Hopefully they have alternate lanes, maybe 2 tunnels, one you could bypass to get to it. Maybe, I don't know.
Oh, so basically, like what people have already suspected as us having like secret underground military installations underground.
Basically,
like can transport back and forth.
It's basically like the Big Dig if everyone knew how to drive. Like the Big Dig's a good idea, but no one knows how to drive. So you just have a bunch of idiots instead of being above ground, just being below ground.
The Big Dig was obsolete when it was finished because it took so long. Once they updated how many cars are on the road, by the time they were done, it was already obsolete. 25
years and you saved 25 seconds or something like that. It was some ridiculous number. Yeah, it was because it's like when you go in there, it's 4 lanes. You're like, wow, that's funny because when you go to Atlanta, they have 10 lanes on each way. Or you go to LA, they have a 24-lane highway. It's like you can only make a tunnel so big.
You also just changed where the traffic was. Before the traffic was above ground. Now it's below ground.
You just don't see it. That's the thing. It's like I just put it on the ground so no one sees it. Yeah, it's ridiculous. It's but the Tesla tunnels, I mean, we all know the guy's a fucking genius. Like they come up with ideas. Like he's like people sit there and like, I have an idea for this. But he actually knows how to make the idea happen.
Because he has the money to do it.
But you never always did. I mean, he developed. I remember I was watching this. He developed. He had this video game he kept beating or something like that, and he was in a fucked up family. Like his mom was very loving, but his father was an asshole, and he learned how to code. He realized that if he knew how to write his own code, he could make his own games, and he could make it the way he wanted to. And that's how he developed this game, and he sold it for like $500 or something like this to some developer. And it was basically like Space Invader type game where you have this little pod that goes back and you bounce the balls and everything. And he did that when he was like 10 or 11 years old. And then I think we were talking about he has something to do with like PayPal when that got developed. It's like, revolutionize banking or something like that. And then obviously with the Tesla car and, with SpaceX and stuff like this, it was pretty impressive. But I think people say that he's maybe on the spectrum a little bit. Maybe he's a little off, right? I mean, he's a very intelligent individual. I mean, he's naming his kids after letters and numbers and symbols, right? But it feels like there's a lot of controversy because a guy who's that powerful, right, who has that much money and that much, like, pull, I guess you could say, in the world, basically those people are automatically considered like Democrats or liberals, right? They always fall in that pie, like a Bezos, right? Or a people of that, or a Bill Gates, right? But he's so off in his own little land. He kind of just falls into like a regular Joe kind of type position, right? Like he's like the only billionaire who's like just one of the guys. Like he's like, you could probably have a conversation with him and it wouldn't be like odd. It would just be like, it's like, he would just talk to you like you're a human being. Like he wouldn't talk you down. He would just like, he would try to teach you. He'd try to help you if you didn't know something. You know what I mean? He wouldn't be like down talking to you. And I think that's like what people are scared of.
my only knock on Elon Musk is I wish he would stop tweeting stupid shit. And stop trying to manipulate prices of things, and it causes a ruckus. And it's
annoying. But I kind of like that because I don't think he knows what he's doing. I think he does and he doesn't. Right? I think he thinks he's being funny and he's like being socially awkward about it. But at the same time, obviously he's affecting shit like for the Doji thing and all that stuff, right?
Yeah.
But sometimes I don't think he knows what he's doing. You know what I mean? He doesn't. He
doesn't understand the weight of what he says.
Right, exactly. He doesn't know how much power he has with something he tweets. He just thinks he's being a smartass with a bunch of guys. If a guy who never really had friends growing up and people are liking stuff he say, all of a sudden you get this built up confidence. You're like, oh, I can say this and everyone's gonna like it. And it's gonna be funny. Yeah. And he doesn't realize that it's affecting a financial system.
Markets,
right?
Yeah, right.
It's he's like, yo, it's I jump up and down, but he causing a tsunami. You know what I mean? It's you don't realize
some
how big you are.
I just lost fucking $5 million today because thank you, Elon Musk.
Right. And he's like, I just have no idea what I'm doing. He has no sense. And I honestly think the guy's a billionaire, but has no sense of what $1 billion is, right? I don't think he knows, what you could do with, obviously he's a smart business guy, but I don't think he, understands fully, the power that he potentially could have and how easy it would be just to go from the other side and be like a Bill Gates or a Bezos type of guy and just be an evil fucking billionaire, you know?
Yeah.
With that said, though, him taking over Twitter, though, is definitely going to ruffle some feathers in the social media world, I think.
It will. It's good for crypto. It's good for freedom of speech. It's good for desensitization. It's good for a lot of things. The only problem is now the assholes of the world can now all gather together again
right.
without any censorship. You know,
but
that's
I mean,
the only issue.
Isn't that what the internet was based on? The lack of censorship. Wasn't that the reason everyone got on the internet because there was no censorship, right?
True. What I am happy though is he's going to get rid of all the fucking bots.
Right.
That's what and they hinted at making it possibly a paid service, so that way, you get your blue check mark if you're paying money.
Right.
If you could still have it, but if you don't pay, then you don't have a blue check mark.
Right.
Therefore, you could be a bot.
Okay. Which I think I think it's a reasonable thing to suggest.
Yeah.
And I think it'd be easier to get rid of bots if you just figure out how to just get rid of them, right? Just inactive accounts, stuff like that. I mean, it's easy to spot, right? So I think I think there's people.
Yeah, and it's getting harder though. The technology they're using now for these bots is actually getting a lot more sophisticated. Back in the day, you could easily spot one, but now they're finding that some of these bots have accounts. Visited my friend Mark today.
Right.
And you could still tell something is not right with it, but it'll actually be a fucking photo.
Mm-hmm.
It's getting a little bit more sophisticated. These accounts, and these accounts will be years old.
Right. Yeah, the bots are it's like what we all feel that robots would do in real life. They'll start becoming people and developing stuff.
And they're starting a ruckus and they're turning us against each other already. It's you have bots fighting other bots to create other people to get on their side.
That's kind of crazy.
Is getting ridiculous.
Yeah, you ever really think about that? It's the bots are taking over the world, and that's it. This is what's going to happen.
They already are. We've already talked about AI taking over. In a way, it already is through social media and starting a ruckus with other people and other people thinking those are real.
That's crazy. Well, that'd be good if you get rid of the bots because bots are kind of annoying. You ever go into your Instagram or your Facebook or your Twitter message and you get these fucking stupid messages.
Dude, I get them on my Xbox now.
It's so stupid. I get them from my LinkedIn. These Indian guys from somewhere in the middle of India, we could give you 1,000 views for your thing. I'm like, bro, I get this 5 times a day from 5 people that look exactly like you. What is this? What are you gonna do for me? Oh, by the way, fun fact, something just popped up here. The Giants just drafted a tackle from Alabama, Evan Neal. Do you know the last postseason game they won was?
What?
The Giants?
Oh, God, I don't even know. Was it against the Patriots?
The Super Bowl against the Patriots in 2012 was the last time the New York Giants have won a postseason game.
Oh, that's fucked up. That's
I almost shit myself in this. That's 2012. That's 10 years since they won a post. They've been in the postseason a couple times. They just never won. But that was the last time they won a postseason game. Was the Super Bowl in 2012.
The last time the Giants won a postseason
I was there.
Patriots.
I actually physically seen the Giants win their last postseason game.
That is sad.
Yeah, it was very sad. That's when 50 Cent bought me a beer at that strip club, the Red Gator. Nice guy. Even though he's wearing a Giants and he has a giant gold necklace with a cross hanging on it, fucking gangster. Because I think he was, or is, so I don't know. Fun fact before we wrap up the show, do you know Nelly is performing in Lynn next week?
Nelly's performing in Lynn. Holy shit!
At the Lynn Auditorium.
Wow.
And apparently, Pitbull was there 2 weeks ago.
Oh wow! I guess that's the place to be. Is he gonna sing Air Force Ones?
You know what's fun? It's like I feel like the Lynn Auditorium is not someone that still plays music on the radio goes there, right? Because it's not that big. It's
not. I went there for a concert.
It's like the size of the Beverly Music Theater. Remember the Beverly Music Theater when we were kids? We'd go on field trips and see plays up there.
Did he always wear a Band-Aid under his eye?
Yeah, over his eye.
Was that him?
Yeah, I don't know what happened.
Under his eye was always like right
He cut himself or something like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's Nelly. So if you're in Lynn next couple of weeks, you can see Nelly. So, but I did find out where they put the people who perform at the Lynn Auditorium. They actually at the new hotel on Revere Beach.
Oh, okay.
Which is a nice hotel. It has a nice view of the ocean, right? But it's like a low-level Marriott hotel. It isn't anything fancy. It's a hotel that you and I could get for a very low rate. And Pitbull is staying there. And I'm sure at one point in time he was staying at the Ritz-Carlton in downtown.
That's all he does.
That's it. I won't stop. I can't stop the party. That's all he says. So, all right, sir. What do you plug in? What's going on with you?
Nothing really right now, my friend. Just keeping it, just chilling.
Cool. And
what you got going on?
The Wicked Explorers. Check us out. We got a lot of videos. And we will be in Scranton, Pennsylvania this weekend. If you're in Scranton, Pennsylvania, we'll be seeing the Lehigh Flying Pigs play the Scranton Railroad Riders. And it's the Rail Riders is the AAA team of the Yankees. They have a really good shortstop prospect, which I'm looking forward to see. And the
Remember
Phillies.
when you first said that to me? I thought you said the Whale Riders, and I'm like,
that would
this
be
is like
funny.
a bunch of chubby chasers.
Yeah. Yeah, so we're going to be in the middle of nowhere in Pennsylvania this weekend to see some minor league baseball, which should be entertaining. So we're looking forward to that. That should be a good time. And then, and then, like I said, next week we're not on. It's Cinco de Mayo. Of course, I work at a Mexican restaurant, and that is like the 4th of July for Mexican restaurants.
You guys going to play some Pitbull?
I will be playing Pitbull. I'll be DJing, so if you're in the, if you know where I work and you come by, we'll be playing some music. So that'll be an interesting night. And then, yeah, that'll be it. And we'll be back the week after that. So this is the last week in the studio, but like I said, you would never know because you're going to look exactly the same. So there you go. All right, sir. Well, we'll see you next week. Or in 2 weeks. Toodaloo.
Yes.